Welcome back, listeners. This is the Hit Boys Podcast, the podcast where we give you YouTube recommendations. You're here with your hosts. We've got
David.
Yes, Dave. And Ayman over here. That's me, in case it wasn't clear. So, what's up, David? How you been?
I'm doing great. I don't know.
Great.
I don't know if you noticed. Again, we do this remotely, but in the last podcast, I was pretty tired. But I'm feeling upbeat.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you had been to Italy like the previous weekend and like been out alone,
Yeah.
living
that lifestyle.
Have you just been chilling this week, or what?
So I guess because I am awaiting a house that one has purchased, I've been dealing
tasty.
with a lot of paperwork.
That YouTube money.
Hey, that's how mortgages are paid. I don't know how you grew up. You don't work.
Well, I got 36 subscribers. Can I pay for the house with those? How many subscribers is that?
Oh man, just imagine it. And it's like, okay, so you got 36 subscribers, but your views recently are gonna mean you're gonna have to get our extra policy.
What's the conversion rate? One view to how many real world dollars?
How many bedrooms is more like it?
Yeah.
So it's kind of been pushed. So it was meant to be ready, all fully built by the 30th of September, but now it's been moved to like the 20th of October. So
way.
Yeah, just been doing some fact checking on as to why. But other than being that side of an adult, that's pretty much my week.
Yeah. Okay, nice.
How have you been?
I did something pretty adult this week as well.
Oh yeah.
I played golf.
Oh, you played golf?
Yeah, seriously. They had there was like a thing at work, like golf day kind of thing. It's really not serious. Everyone is super amateur. A lot of really bad people. Like a couple, obviously, kind of take it seriously.
Yeah, and we're talking like full-on holes, not like the driving range or anything.
No. Talking on a full 18-hole, like the full-on thing. I've never ever done that before.
Oh, really?
I've been like little mini courses and things, like a couple little holes, but so there's about 7 of us. About 5 of us were like absolute beginners. I mean, myself especially.
Yeah.
But I gotta say, it was so fun. I mean, it helps that it was just a really nice day, and it was a Friday, and it was like you don't have to go to work.
Oh yeah, weather was good on Friday, wasn't it?
Yeah. So it was just like, damn, it was so fun. I really enjoyed it. I gotta say, big time.
The most important thing that everyone judges you on, it's not actually the holes, but it's how you swing. Did you do it?
Oh.
Did you do it good?
I don't know, man, but I was getting some pretty solid hits out. But I kind of sucked because when it came to like the end part, actually getting it in the hole, like putting and all that, just so bad.
Yeah, so all that.
I'd like hit it. It would get a really good start. Like, yes, come on. I even managed to hit it over the water at one point.
Yeah.
And and then just completely screw it up.
So all that Nintendo Switch practice did not add up to anything, huh?
Yeah, nah, not at all.
Oh wait, is it also like the movies where I say movies, or I would hope like in Beverly Hills or whatever, where you go to a course, they usually have like somebody who works there who follows you with and all that stuff, and like does the first couple of holes with you. Did that happen?
No.
It was like you take the balls, get lost.
No, that was it. Yeah.
Did you drive the car?
Just go. No cars.
Ah.
I mean, you could probably hire them, but in fact, some of the other guys had like little trolleys to put their clubs and stuff on, wheeling them around. I just had them over my back. I had to borrow them as well.
Wait, how many clubs were you carrying on your back? Who are you, Thor?
In a bag. I had like 7, 8 clubs. I don't know.
Oh, you put that over your shoulder.
Yeah.
You were really an adult then.
I know, it really sucks carrying that thing around as well.
Yeah, in the heat. Now it's all sounding bad. Like, the sun was out. Oh, what an awful day.
About 2 of them as well. Honestly, they got this little cart like halfway through, so it goes on for all day. It's really long.
Yeah, I
they
can
got
imagine.
This little cart like halfway through that will sell you, Coke, bottle of
No
water.
way! I wish it. Is it
And I
just
was
driving
like,
across? So you just
oh
gonna
my
like stick
God.
out your thumb, like yeah.
He moves. Well, that's the thing. He moves from like hole to hole kind of thing. So if you miss him, if you're
You'll
shot,
see him at the
if you
next
don't line up, then that's it. But
Uh,
honestly, when we got there, I was like, "Oh, thank you, please. I need this." I was dying by that point,
amazing.
but it was good. It was actually really fun, and the beer at the end of the day was just beautiful. Oh my goodness.
Actually, that's one thing I'm looking forward to this weekend because I finally get a weekend off. I did go to Sussex, but I finally have this weekend off, and you know what? Beers and a lazy day sounds amazing.
Oh boy, that does sound amazing. Yeah, so this weekend I also went to Leeds as well, which was just my granddad's birthday kind of thing. But you know, it was pretty chilled. Yeah, pretty good.
I've never been. Actually, no, I have been. No, I have not been. I've been to York. That's completely different.
In other news, sort of YouTube related, my premium membership actually ends. I think it actually ends tomorrow.
Oh, this is still on the free bit.
Yeah. So I got 3 months free, but I think it actually ends tomorrow, as in tomorrow when you're listening to this podcast, which is tomorrow. But then tomorrow after that,
yeah,
Wednesday. I think it ends Wednesday. So I had to, go and like press cancel because I didn't want it to charge me. So I've got it up until then. But I gotta say, I am gonna miss it. I'm really gonna miss it.
That's funny because like when we first talked about it on a bonus episode or whatever, you weren't really a fan. You thought it was kind of like ripping you off.
Exactly. No, it is still a rip-off. That's the thing. So they asked me when I cancelled it, why.
I feel like they actually asked you in person. Like they came over like, why? Why are you gonna do this?
I wish they would. So I could tell them to their face. But I had to tick. It was like you could only tick one thing. And they were all good. It was like, it costs too much. It doesn't have enough features. But the one I ticked was, I'm not listening to enough music to make it worthwhile.
Oh, so they know about that option.
Yeah, exactly. They realize that, well, hopefully they're going to realize that this is an issue because it's super annoying that I have to buy the whole package for like 12 quid rather than just the 3 quid it's actually worth.
Yeah.
Oh man, I would buy that in an instant, Just being able to download videos is just so good. Man, oh man. Yeah, it sucks. I've got all these videos downloaded. I haven't even watched them all. It's just, what am I going to do when I go through a tunnel on the train? Oh my goodness.
Welcome back to real life.
I know, it is. I'm back to being like scrub level YouTube watching. I mean, when I was going up to Leeds, I downloaded like a few playlists. And
just the idea of downloading a playlist rather than even a single video.
Yeah, dude, yeah. And just the whole way, I was just like watching YouTube, the entire thing.
I'm surprised that like Mr. Beast or one of those crazy people has it like, I downloaded the whole of YouTube in 24 hours.
That's good. He'll do it.
He will. And the views I needed, he's there.
Yeah. I mean, imagine if he did a thing like, I watched the entire of YouTube.
Yeah. Right.
But what he'd have to do is he'd have to set up like 1,000 TV screens.
Yeah.
And have them playing all different. It wouldn't work. It would still take you like 10 years probably.
The reason why I do like Mr. Beast is I always pictured if I had a lot of money and nothing to do, doing what he does would be one of my to-do lists. Like
what, donating money or
not even? No, skip the donating part. Who cares about that? But doing the thing where anyone else could do it, but they don't have the money to do it, and I record it.
Yeah. I tell you what it is though. It's the time. That's all I want. I just want the time to do any of that.
Oh yeah, that too.
Not be working. So that's what it's about. That's what it's all about.
That's why we're doing this podcast.
Yeah.
One day we'll make that fat million.
Yeah. Oh man. Well, should we move on? Should we talk about our actual YouTube weeks?
Yeah, because
this is a YouTube podcast,
and it's more important than our real lives. Yeah.
Well, yeah, absolutely, yeah. So how much? Looking at your stats, how much YouTube have you watched this week?
All right, I'll start off with my today and yesterday, and then we'll do past week and average. So today, 14 minutes. Okay.
14.
Right.
Rookie hours.
I actually believe that. That is true. Yesterday, 2.5 hours.
Ooh, not bad.
What about
so
you?
I'm something similar. So today, 1 hour 49.
Jeez.
And yesterday, 25 minutes.
I thought you were going to say 25 hours. Damn.
Yeah. No, yesterday I was coming down from Leeds, but I was in the car with my dad rather than on the train, so I was like chatting, like.
Oh, being a real human being and talking to someone.
That's my excuse. I'm making excuses. You know, it's funny what you said the other day. So when they released this feature a couple of weeks ago, we brought it up on the podcast.
Yeah.
And David, you said, their intention with this is to, make you not watch so much YouTube, or at least be aware of how much time you're spending.
Yeah.
And, there's the option to remind you to take a break and things. But really all it does is it makes you want to pump those numbers up.
I won't lie, that is true. Maybe it's more hyped up because we are going to talk about it on the podcast, but it just makes you, just like Steam, just makes you want to have a nice number to be proud of.
Yeah. So go on then. What's your total for the past week and your daily average?
And past week is 8 hours 25, daily average 1 hour 12 minutes.
Ooh, rookie numbers, David.
Well, it's because you got that premium, obviously.
Okay, but by the way, we shouldn't make this into a competition because we're just going to become really unhealthy. Yeah. So I take that back.
Yeah, just check out Instagram and see who changes over time.
So past week I got 14 hours 19 minutes.
Oh, man.
Daily average 2 hours 2 minutes. Daily average, which is pretty insane, actually.
I could do that. Whatever, I could do that.
Come on, are you not watching it on your commute? Because you've got kind of a long one, right?
I watch it. This is all on my phone.
Yeah, I know, but same, yeah.
Well, yeah, I don't know. Actually, if I logged in rather than use like my work account or whatever, I'd probably watch a bit more.
Interesting. Anyway, what have you been watching? You go first.
Wow, that is a good question. I will say that there's a guy who was a host on SourceFed. I don't know if you know the show. It's Philip DeFranco's side channel that he eventually sold. They just do news in a cool, funny, hipster kind of way. They had loads of people. Then eventually they got bought out and everyone was released. So there's a guy called William Haynes, and he had a show within the show SourceFed called People Be Like, and that ended obviously when SourceFed ended. And he made a video about a month ago about how he was going to use his own money to try and buy back that channel, and because he really loved it, he loved what he did, and he wanted to give it a second chance because obviously whoever bought it off, the company who bought it, aren't using it. So I do kind of admire that he used his own money to try and get a channel back, of which he did. And I mean, a lot of people have left. It's got 300k subs. It had a bit more before, and now he gets about 12k views to 30. He's trying, and all the budget's coming from him. Before they had a set, now he's doing it in his room. He's made a set within his apartment, which is a room. And I don't know. It's still got the good bits, but you can appreciate it more because this is someone, unlike a lot of YouTubers we've covered, they're not getting funding from anywhere other than their own pocket.
That's actually quite cool. But why, if the company that bought it didn't use it, why on earth did they buy it in the first place?
Yeah, and also what baffles me is when companies do this. I know a company, sometimes Machinima does it as well, where everyone's successful with it, but then you buy them out, and then you have no purpose to continue. It's you're making less money. You might as well just give it to them and cut them a hard percentage rather than get rid of them and do nothing. It just, it baffles me why you wouldn't continue a project that's doing okay.
Yeah.
But I'll link his video on how he got it back. It was kind of inspirational, probably more so if you know the guy. But yeah,
still, that's cool though. He kind of, can you imagine making that decision? You're basically just saying, okay, look, I made a mistake, and it's gonna cost me a ton of money to undo that mistake, but I'm going to go for it anyway and try and make it happen.
Yeah, and it wasn't like necessarily his channel to begin with. It was like, you know, when you work at a company and then you've got an idea, you pitch it and they're like, okay, here's some budget, do it. So it was like it was his idea rather than his thing. So he paid back for his idea. So not everyone does that.
Nice. Okay, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. All right, so here's a couple that I've been watching this week. I'm going to lump these two. Well, this isn't even channels. These are just two random, like, kind of viral-ish, kind of interesting videos.
I see, yeah.
That I saw. So that's why I'm lumping them together. So the first is this kind of snakes in the attics video. It's like basically some woman was complaining that there was all this thumping and sounds coming from her attic.
Right.
So some expert came around to come check it out, and he found these two snakes, these big snakes, basically literally dueling up in her attic. So It's these things called carpet pythons, and basically when it's breeding time, they wrestle, and you should see them wrestle. It's so weird. It's just like two pieces. The snakes. I mean, you know what a snake looks like, but it's just like two pieces of rope just trying to tangle themselves.
Oh man!
Basically,
I wish that was my house.
Yeah, but it's funny because the guy that's kind of getting rid of them, he doesn't kill them or anything. He just bags them up and takes them elsewhere. He says they don't actually bite or try and kill each other. All they do is they try and it's so weird. It's like they try and pin each other to the ground.
Right.
But it's not, to us, it's like it's not obvious which one is winning.
Yeah, to them,
apparently they know.
Yeah, they're just kids watching WWE, but didn't listen to their "Don't try this at home."
Yeah. So it was kind of interesting. The second one I watched was this compilation video of this bridge. They call it the 11'8" bridge, and it's a bridge that is specifically 11 feet and 8 inches tall. Now, most trucks are 12 feet, right?
Okay.
So most bridge clearances are 12 feet or more. So what? Basically, there's a camera, security cameras on this bridge.
Yeah. And is this in America, by the way?
Yeah. And it's just lorry after van after lorry after van.
Just wishing. I swear I've seen this, actually.
Just crashing, just wrecking.
Oh, crashing. Basically. Not even like seeing halfway. But here's the thing. Because they usually go about halfway, actually. So what happens is, because it's so close to being you would think you would make it.
Yeah, it just like will skim off the top of the roof. Like some of them are really good. Like imagine a can or something just peeling off.
Yeah.
Just the roof will just peel off, and then it'll get stuck halfway. But they say as well they've got all these like warning lights. They've even got a sensor to tell you if you're too high.
So they're actually aware, but they'd rather tell you than do anything about it. Actually, they're not paying attention. Is there a road on top? Can they actually?
Yeah. There's a road. There's another route to go around.
I see.
But it's just people not paying attention, and they just like bomb it towards this thing without paying attention, without looking at the flashing lights, and not caring, and just going straight for it. And it was kind of entertaining, actually.
Yeah, I think I have actually seen it. I feel sorry for like the road or council or whatever equivalent workers in America who have to, Monday morning, here we go again.
Yeah, I know, like the cleanup.
The absolute cleanup.
What they've done as well is, so that the bridge doesn't actually get wrecked each time, they put this big metal bar in front so that anything that hits doesn't hit the actual bridge. It hits this bar.
Right.
But yeah, anyway, it's still like cleanup because there's like wreck everywhere, Anyway, so yeah, there's a couple of random ones. I don't actually know how I found those. I think they're on a website somewhere.
Yeah, no, I feel like I've seen it as well. Yeah, definitely link it. I'm curious.
Yeah, I'll link them both in the description. But yeah. they're worth a little skim through. I'd say a little skim through. So what's up? What's next on your list?
So this one's a bit of a different. Well, it's not really on my list, but it's just something that came up. You know, what's his name? Who covered the Tanner convention, TannerCon? Shane Dawson.
Yeah, Shane Dawson. Yeah.
Yeah. So he put out a trailer that he's gonna cover and do a documentary on Jake Paul. And is this also kind of after you said Nerd City covered Jake Paul as well?
Yeah. Wait, is he doing one on Jake or Logan? I thought Shane was doing one on Logan.
No, he's doing it on Jake.
Oh, right. Okay, interesting.
Which I find pretty, like, this should be last year's idea. Like, they've all calmed down. Like, the Jake and Logan we talked about in the podcast last year is completely different to this one. They're not really the center of attention. They're not going to be a YouTube rewind. Yeah. So why now? But apparently, and you know, Shane, I keep saying Sean, Shane Dawson will get views. Like, he gets views for any documentary. The fact that you can put out a trailer as if it's like some original content. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but it's just weird that that's his next project, so to speak. But
interesting. Yeah, I mean, Jake, like you said, he's literally just not that interesting right now.
Yeah, like no one really cares.
We've already heard about him, you know, his history and all of that, and I don't know. It's just. It does seem weird timing. It is weird timing, for sure. Yeah.
Although, you know, some people could say he's not really a money-hungry guy, so he's not doing it for the views, but everyone's doing it for the views.
Oh, come off it. Jake Paul, like, is not interesting enough to do it. Just, like, if you're a documentary filmmaker, Jake Paul is like, he went to school, he started making videos with his brother.
Good job.
On Vine. I literally already know his whole backstory.
Yeah, you can't not know. So
he made videos with his friends in his yard, and then his brother, and then Vine. Vine went under. Yeah. Moved to YouTube. Although he started YouTube whilst he was actually Vine.
Oh wow, you're proper listing it now. I will give credit though. He's not covering that bit. He's talking about like the mind of Jake Paul. So like how he assumes Jake Paul is like money hungry and like abuses Team 10. But again, we've heard this all before, even on our podcast.
Yeah, just listen to our podcast instead.
That Martinez twins bonus episode, phenomenal.
Oh wow. Okay, I've got to say I'm really not interested.
But you will see it. That's the problem. YouTube will recommend it without you even trying.
Oh my god. It's going to be one of those videos that you literally can't get away from.
And it's going to be like 3 episodes as well.
Yeah, for sure. Logan also, at some point, sometime soon, will be doing his own documentary about himself.
Yeah. Probably at the end of the year or something. Christmas bonus.
Oh yeah. A little looking back at the year since I filmed the dead body.
Yeah.
Oh man. Oh, wait, was that? Wait, whose list are we on? Whose turn is
that was kind of mine. I do have one which we'll get into a bit, which I kind of like teased in the last episode, but.
Ooh.
Yes.
Okay, so what is it? It's my turn now.
Then. Yeah, you go.
Okay, so other than that, so we're going to be talking about news later on, and the main bit of news we're going to be covering is Eminem versus Machine Gun Kelly, MGK. So I've been watching a lot of kind of stuff around that, so a lot of Eminem videos, but also some around. I just been watching some Dr. Dre videos, basically.
Oh, what videos?
Yeah. So just like interviews and stuff. I think Dr. Dre is so he's so cool, but he's so interesting. I just think he's awesome. So because he doesn't really make music anymore. He obviously produces like a lot of stuff, a lot of really good stuff, but he doesn't really make music himself.
Yeah.
Anymore, like a bit of rapping here and there, but that's kind of it. He's like, I think he's like 50. I think he's about 50 now, something like that.
Okay. Yeah, actually, that makes sense. Wow, we are kind of old. Because I was thinking about Eminem's, like 46 or something?
Well, what's it called?
Oh, Machine Gun Kelly said.
That's what Machine Gun Kelly says. I'm not actually sure. I'm looking it up.
I would hope he didn't get that wrong.
Yeah. Eminem is he's 45 right now. He's almost 46.
Which I find ridiculous because we obviously lived in the time where everyone knew the lyrics to whatever that 8 Mile song is. Oh, Lose Yourself.
Yeah.
So how old was Eminem when we were watching that? Anyway.
So yeah, Dre is actually 53 now, but the interview I was listening to, it was a few years ago. It was when he was 50, and they were asking him like, "Oh, what did you do for your 50th birthday?" He's like, "Hey, I just chilled, man. I just took out my yacht, 40-foot yacht, and just took my family out and just chilled out there for a few weeks." I was like, "Damn, that sounds awesome." So yeah, I was just listening to this interview where he's basically just talking about all sorts of stuff, but he actually made a movie as well. They made a movie about NWA and like NWA forming and growing up in Compton and all this stuff. It's not documentary, but it's close to real life, but it's like dramatization kind of thing.
I see.
And it's actually supposed to be quite good. It's got good, like, decent reviews on IMDb. I'm actually really keen to watch it because I really love Dr. Dre. I love it. I mean, Eminem's not really related to the movie, but I love Eminem as well. But yeah, I'll link that one as well in the description. But I mean, to be honest, if you're interested in Dre, check it out. Otherwise, you probably skip that one.
Yeah,
David,
I had no idea. You're a fan. I don't really know much about him or his personality.
Oh yeah. Since I was like younger, I was big time.
Okay. Yeah. So in the last episode, I was curious about. I don't know how it even came to my mind, but how kids who are, should I say, managed by their parents on YouTube. Mm-hmm. So accounts that are dedicated to literally kids being kids on YouTube and the parents monetizing it. So I did watch a video which was a Mark Donor video. Mark Donor is he's a YouTuber, ex-Viner, friend of Logan Paul and so on. So him and a lot of people in that same Vine family know a YouTube channel / parents called Trav and Core. Forget what her full name is. But basically, they have 2 kids. One of them who is kind of famously known as Mini Jake Paul.
Oh, that's whose kid that is.
Okay, yeah. I think the kid's real name is called Titus. Anyway, so that channel is like doing pretty well. They got like 1.3 million subs, and they get loads of views. And so Mark Donor, in his own video, goes to their house, which is actually down the road from him. So he goes in and he's like, blah, 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 saying hi and hi. It's like, how's everything? And then out of nowhere, the dad was like, I'm trying to quote it. It was like, yeah, life's good. Like 45 million views in the last month. And then Mark's was like, damn, maybe I should get a kid. It was like, yeah, getting kids pays the bills. Like, that's kind of how he phrased it. It was like, wow, that's really, really on the nose, man. That's like, this kid has helped is paying the bills, literally.
Seriously, when he actually comes out and says that,
like, I know it's not your channel, but remember your filters. But the fact that you think that is kind of sad. But it was so overlooked. No one in the comment section kind of referenced it. But it was like, I could not but remember that. And when you look at,
yeah, that's not. I don't think that's cool.
That's not really... kind of cool. It's not like he's probably on the side like, yeah, I'm also giving my kid a lot of fame, and he will reap the benefits later. But at the same time, it's all kind of you.
No.
The kid doesn't know any better. I should say, for the sake of those listening that don't know, just search Mini Jake Paul. You'll see what he looks like. He's like, what, 4 or 5 years old?
Yeah. I mean, it's just warping with that little kid as well.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's not about money and success. Sometimes because he's not having a normal life,
yeah,
you've ruined it.
it's like Lil Tay, who we spoke about before as well.
Yeah.
Who basically was being manipulated or used by her older brother.
Yeah.
To get views and presumably get money and stuff as well. But these tapes came out where he's in the background, like, say bitch, call them all hoes, and it's like, well, what the hell, man? Like, that's so weird. You're gonna be messing up this little kid's brain, and you're just using. It's just awful. It's really awful.
It's just so it's like the ironic statement of Poppy, who we've covered in like our first episode. Her whole thing is about being used by grown-ups, we could say, using somebody vulnerable just to get popularity on the internet and pay them.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think, so I was kind of thinking about this because you sort of mentioned it last week, but I feel like there's two forms of abuse when it comes to kids and, the internet and that kind of stuff. First is using them to get views, like the ones we just mentioned.
Yeah.
And then the second is like doing stuff to the kids to get views.
Oh yeah,
kind
like
of
giving them literal instructions.
So no. So this is what I mean. So there's this family called Family of Five. Well, it was originally called Daddy 05.
Right.
They had a big drama, apology videos, lawsuits, but basically they used to play pranks on their kids. And they would film the kids' reactions and things, and they were always really mean pranks. Like, the kids would literally cry, and eventually they got called out. Yeah, they got called out for being abusive and abusing their kids, and they went to court and everything. And now they're on like probation and stuff. They got whatever you call it when someone goes under for a crime. What do you call that?
Like house arrest.
Whatever. No, whatever. But
yeah,
they were convicted. That's the word.
Okay.
They were convicted for this stuff. So, God, it's just that's obviously like worse than the other stuff, but it's also more obvious because Daddy 05, Family of Five, it's like, okay, the kid is crying, they're upset, you're upsetting them on purpose. Like, obviously that's wrong.
Yeah.
But then you have like mini Jake Paul, who's obviously having fun in the videos, and like, what's wrong with that? It's kind of more subtle, but it's definitely not. It's definitely not right. It's
just because it's not as openly visible to us doesn't mean that there's nothing going through the kid.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, at the end of the day, you're still using them for yourself, and
yeah. Well, okay. What is your final thought? Like, say you made a video and you had your kid in it, and that video went viral. All the comments, everyone's like, "Oh, more of this kid. He's so funny." Blah blah blah. Do you start having your camera out a bit more? Do you start, like what, when, how do you even do it?
No, I would not. I would try. It would be so hard when you're in that situation, but I would try and minimize the amount that the kid is in the videos, or because people will like shove a camera in the face, like make something funny happen, like get something funny to happen.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a good argument because it's like, well, what about a cat or a dog?
Yeah. Or maybe when you're equally involved. So, like, do you remember Bat Dad, where there's a guy who dressed up as Batman, and it's all about how the family react to him? Say one kid's reaction was like the favorite, and then everyone wanted equal time with Bat Dad and that kid. Do you like start making sure that the kid's there the next upload? Do you not upload if the kid's not there? It's like it's a difficult one.
Yeah. All right, let me give you my pick of the week.
All right.
So my pick of the week is actually, I thought I had it, but it's actually kind of hard.
Oh, wait, you are torn between.
Well, no, the one I wanted to say was Eminem's new diss track on Machine Gun Kelly, like Response.
Oh, okay.
But it's not really a video, it's just audio, so I kind of feel a bit bad.
If it exists on YouTube, it exists on this podcast.
I guess so, yeah. So his new diss track basically coming back at MGK, which I think is pretty good. It's just it's not like the greatest song or catchiest song ever, but he's just got some really good kind of lines and disses in it.
Yeah,
yeah, I enjoyed it.
I gotta say, I know I kind of like Machine Gun Kelly's one more.
Okay, I will. Well, I'm gonna get into it in the news section, but let's hear your pick of the week.
Pick of the week actually kind of fell on the People Be Like, the guy who brought back his channel. Yeah, I'll probably give it to that one.
Okay,
yeah,
nice.
It's a heartwarming video. I'll give it to the listeners.
Heartwarming.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. Okay, so let's move on. Let's get into the news. Okay. So I've mentioned it a few times now, but the big thing that's been going on YouTube right now is Eminem versus Machine Gun Kelly.
Had you come across this even before I mentioned it in the last podcast? How I was like,
yes,
diss tracks,
yeah,
have now hit actual musicians.
Yeah, it's funny. No, but that's the thing. Like rappers have been making diss tracks for years, like before any of this.
Yeah,
they were making diss tracks in the 90s, you know.
Yeah. It's just because it's now video form and there's no MTV and people don't listen to CDs, so it's like following the same formula.
Exactly, and it's actually cool as well because now, because of YouTube and Spotify and all that stuff, you can get a song out really, really quickly.
That is true.
So, like, Eminem released his new album called Kamikaze, and on the album, I'm going to summarize basically what the beef is and what happened. So, on the album, Eminem sort of dissed Machine Gun Kelly. He had a whole verse, actually, dissing him. He disses, like, lots of people on this album.
Yeah.
That's basically the whole point of the album, is to diss people.
Yeah.
But quite a big amount to Machine Gun Kelly. Now, MGK came back with a diss track literally a few days later, and I gotta say it's really trending on YouTube. Last time I checked, a couple of days ago, it was at like almost 80 mil plays.
Yeah, it was like 89 yesterday, which is Monday.
Yeah. Really? So yeah, I mean, it's doing really, really well, and I gotta say it's a really catchy song. Like, I've never heard of any of his music before, but this track is actually really catchy, pretty good. I quite like it. I like it a lot. The disses he gives to Eminem are okay.
Yeah, they're not
mostly
super strong.
Yeah, there's like a few kind of weak ones. You know, he says like your beard is weird, which is kind of funny because Eminem's kind of known for having like a weird beard. Yeah. He does look weird with a beard, though. It's true.
That is true.
And then he says he's old a couple times, and it's like, okay, that's kind of weak. And then also there's a big one towards the end where he says he's taller. He names both their sizes. He's I'm 6'5", you're 5'9", something. It's like, okay, it's not really a very good diss, but all right, fine. But yeah, so he did that, and then So Eminem literally a few days ago dropped his response track. In fact, it was a few days ago, 14th. He dropped his response track to that. So it was about, I don't know, it was a couple of weeks later, 2, maybe 3 weeks later.
Yeah.
And this is, I mean, the song is not as catchy. Like, this is where I agree with you, David. The song is not as catchy. I don't like it as a song as much. But his disses, you know, and his lines and his rapping overall is better because it's Eminem. You know, obviously it's better. It's like
the hit points were strong.
Yeah, and it's like you can't come at Eminem like that because he's one of the best at writing lyrics. He's one of the best at actual rapping. He's smart and comes, you know, it's you can't really argue with it. But okay, so let me break down what the diss was about. What the whole beef was about? Do you actually know anything about this?
I know there's two things I know. One is about the daughter, about the tweet that he did.
Yep.
Which I know we mentioned in the last podcast. What did he say? That she's good looking or something at when she was pretty much a young age, like 16. The second thing was because, is it Shade 45 or some record label that Eminem did or put some effort to stop Machine Gun Kelly being a part of. That's why he mentions in his diss track about, like, what, let some other people eat kind of thing. Like, you're always talking about fending for your daughter, but you're stopping me from feeding mine.
Yeah.
But those are the only two I know.
So, kind of. So, basically, what happened back in, like, 2010, MGK sent this tweet. MGK was only, like, 21 at the time, but Eminem's daughter was 16. And MGK sent a tweet. If you actually look at the wording of the tweet, I don't have the wording exactly, but it was basically like, look, absolute respect to Eminem, he's the king, but damn, Haley is looking good, kind of thing.
Yeah.
It wasn't the most offensive tweet. It wasn't like really, really dirty. He still kind of said like, respect. The guy was only 21. It wasn't so bad.
Yeah.
So,
but when Logan does something, I'm joking.
Yeah. So Eminem has given some interviews over the past couple of weeks as well, which is why I know all this.
Yeah.
So what MGK then went and did was he did this whole kind of. So I'm getting ahead of myself. Eminem said he didn't even hear about this tweet until like a year later,
right?
When he sees MGK going around. Basically doing like a press run, going from press place to press place, talking about this and saying like, yeah, I made this tweet, and basically just talking all about Haley and how he wrote this tweet and
so he's trying to build his own clout or his own attention.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. And then what happened was Eminem MGK thought that Eminem had banned him from his platform. So you said like Shade 45. That's Eminem's kind of his radio station, something like that.
Yeah,
he owns it, and they apparently wouldn't have him on.
Yeah, the same. Same with Interscope, which is another one as well.
Yeah. So Eminem was like, "What? As if I'm gonna keep you, hold back your career. As if I'm gonna keep you from any of my channels. Like, I don't care enough about you." I don't know enough about you. I don't care enough about you. You're nothing to me. Why would I even bother going to those lengths? Why would I even care? I do not even care about you. I did not ban you from my platforms. And basically he says the reason that he decided to diss MGK in this recent song is like a lot more petty than any of that. He admits it. He's like, it's a lot more petty. Basically, MGK in a song a while back made a line that was like, "You just rap. You're not God." And it was a direct reference to Eminem's song "Rap God."
Yeah.
And then so Eminem saw that and he was like, okay, bit of a diss. But then MGK went and tweeted as well, as if it wasn't enough, and was like more direct. It's like, you are not a rap god. He didn't tweet. It's so petty.
I think I remember.
He didn't tweet it at Eminem, but he made it more obvious it was about him.
Yeah.
So then, so that was literally why Eminem was like, I don't care enough about you. You're literally nothing. You're not a good rapper. You're absolutely nothing. Why would I ban you from anything? I don't care enough about you. The only reason is that you gave me this slight, tiny little diss back in a track, like, back whenever.
Oh, so would you say the daughter thing doesn't actually bother Eminem, or it wasn't even part of why he targeted?
No, I think it seems like he just kind of, it made him not really like the guy.
Sure,
but he didn't really care that much. He cared more that the guy was going around doing, talking to all the press about this and getting his own publicity out of it.
Right.
Which, come on.
Which is why I think, did you tell me something about some line that, you mention me, you get money, or like win-win, lose-lose thing.
So in Eminem's song where he disses MGK, or in the album anyway, he's like, well, I can't, if I mention you, I basically lose, but if I mention you, you win because you're just going to get views.
Which kind of goes hand in hand with what this whole statement.
Yeah. So it is true, but it's also like he knew that, but still did it.
Yeah.
But
that's
at the
true.
end of the day, that's his point. It's like he just does not give a,
Yeah.
So
I do find this weird all in total anyway, because Machine Gun Kelly isn't. I wouldn't say he's a rapper. Like lots of his songs, he raps in a good half of them. Some of them he actually sings. He has a guitar, and he is kind of popular. He's got loads of songs which are over 100 million, but at the same time, he's got some songs that are just like 2 that are also within the last 2 years. So he's he's an off and on guy. But
yeah. So you said it's weird, but Eminem actually said that himself. He's like, okay, now I'm just in this weird thing with this guy. It's like I gotta respond.
Welcome to YouTube.
Like, so beneath me, but
it's just like the Logan and KSI. Like, oh, you said something about my boxing skills. Well, I'm gonna say something about yours. Yeah, okay, now I'm tired, but I gotta do one more.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's just endless. So I don't know. I don't know if MGK is gonna come back to this because a lot of people are kind of on Eminem's side now.
Do you know why I find this weird? Because I did like the diss at the start, and Machine Gun Kelly had such a good like ratio. Now, maybe a lot of Eminem fans now know about it. The original 89 million one or whatever is now like almost 68% likes to dislikes.
Oh, really?
Like it's just changed dramatically.
Yeah. So someone in the comments actually put it quite well, but they said, while I enjoyed MGK's diss track, Eminem is clearly just infinitely better than him, and he's clearly only doing it for publicity and cred.
I think I even saw that comment.
Yeah, I gotta completely agree. I mean, I like the song, but he's literally, MGK is just doing it for publicity. Fair enough. He's got an EP coming out soon, like whatever.
Yeah.
Also, it was funny in Eminem's return diss track, which is called Kill Shot. We'll link it. He actually mentions Lil Tay as well.
Yeah.
It's so good. Yeah, he says he feels like he's babysitting Lil Tay.
Yeah, that's pretty good. And now Lil Tay is gonna make a comeback. It's like, oh yes, that's my time to shine. Or make a reaction video or some crap.
Yeah. David, I think we're actually all out of time.
I will actually link one thing on Eminem as well, where he dabs. He dabs in a music video.
Oh no!
I think, and which is my favorite song. It's the "Lucky You" with Joyner Lucas. There's
I like that one. Yeah.
There's a bit where he dabs. It's like,
oh god, I haven't seen this. I know I said it was a lot. We got to end, but one more thing. I'm sure Eminem is a YouTube watcher. He mentions in this interview, like, oh, when you go on YouTube and you just kind of go down a rabbit hole and just end up watching loads of stuff. And he's mentioned that in other interviews as well.
Oh yeah.
Like, he
needs to be he needs to be on Hot Ones on First We Feast.
Oh yeah.
That'd be
good actually.
Yeah,
that'd be good. He wouldn't. It's not edgy enough.
Nah, he'll do it.
He doesn't need the publicity.
Yeah, that's the only way we'll find out how much time his daily average is on YouTube.
Oh yeah, that's true. All right. Thank you all for listening. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Hit us up on Twitter. David, what's your Twitter?
So not David.
And mine is at Glyphix, GLIPHYX. Let us know if there's anyone you want us to cover. We're always looking for new people to watch. We're always looking for new suggestions. Or if there's a particular topic, or let us know. If you hated the episode, let us know. If you loved it, let us know. Just let us know either way.
Yeah.
Remember to subscribe on iTunes and drop a cheeky review over there. Please do that, actually. We could really do with some more reviews on iTunes. Or subscribe to us on any old podcast app. Yeah. All right, thanks for listening. David, you're supposed to say see ya.
Oh, yeah. See ya.